The new IRS bill puts Americans directly in the crosshairs of the government. Now, why, you might ask? Well, they've got a new bill that wants the American federal government to be able to track everything you do. $600 or above used to be $10,000, and that was a massive overreach, but a lot of people allowed it because they thought, well, 10,000, how many people are really spending that at one time only on big purchases? Now they've whittled it all the way down to 600, and basically it's to simulate what we've seen in crypto. We already know the federal government is attacking crypto and has got a massive ploy to end crypto as far as its legality in the United States. Crypto will always be there. They can't do anything about that, but they can make it illegal for you to own it like they've done in a lot of other countries and like they will continue to do. They'll say, well, this is illegal, but you can have this. And so how can you circumvent that? How does this IRS bill affect you? And the fact that they're hiring over 80,000 new IRS agents to audit you, to attack your taxes. Basically, people trying to pay for their own demise. Now, there is a few things you can do, and we're going to break that down, so you want to buckle up and watch the end of this video, because we're not just going to talk about the problem, we're also going to talk about the solution. And Operation Crypto is under attack by the U.S. government. Now, the fact that the U.S. government continues to attack crypto is a surprise to no one. You've already seen that we have had the implementation of the Fed coin over this last year. We've had a lot of countries really struggle, countries like China, countries like India, and large population countries. In fact, I've got a couple really good friends in India, and I talked to them recently, and they have been struggling massively. In fact, to the point where a couple of them are going to leave the country. Now, these are all fine countries, but the problem is the way they're run and developed, because you can't have a one world government with a multitude of different systems. So if you implement a centralized currency, i.e. the central banks, which have been around forever, this starts kind of leading you down the path. Now, crypto was a great training tool, and I've talked about this for about a year now, how the reason the federal government was pushing crypto and pushing the brakes whenever one of these ambitious senators or congressmen or women decided to make a name for themselves and attack crypto the way the government would have years ago in the past, they kind of got swept under the rug. Hey, Junior, we got a plan for these people. And so when the whole weight of the federal government goes against crypto, A, it's going to crash the market. B, it's going to force all the big money to leave crypto, which is going to pop a lot of these, billion and $100 billion market caps. Those are going to fall apart overnight on a lot of these crypto, even like Bitcoin, Ethereum. All these ones are going to hit a wall. But the other thing is figuring out what they are. Recently, a bunch of governors were talking about Ethereum and should they sue Ethereum. Bitcoin is one thing. XRP is one thing. In fact, a lot of these chump change cryptocurrencies like SafeMoon and Shiba Inu, that's one thing. But I don't think they fully understand what Ethereum is. I don't think they fully understand the fact that a huge portion of these cryptos in general are built on the back of Ethereum. I don't think they fully understand the technology that goes into this. And they make that evident on a regular basis. Now, with them attacking your bank account and being able to track everything you do, everything you buy, everywhere you go, basically a full-scale tracking device. Now, I want to be clear, cryptocurrency itself has been a full-scale tracking device. That is why, for a long time now, I've been talking about hardware wallets, and I strongly recommend you use a hardware wallet. I have several, and I hope you do as well. It's really the only way to utilize crypto at this point is hardware wallets. Outside of that, trading and going back and forth on your favorite exchange, and I'm going to be honest with you, it really rarely matters what exchange right now. You got the popular ones like Coinbase, which is a disaster, Crypto.com, and then you've got kind of the offshore, minuscule ones that, you think you're safer. You're no safer because the way the laws are. So you're going to need to trade through XYZ exchange, whichever one you pick, and then utilize your cold wallet, and do not use the cold wallets trading platform. That defeats the purpose of having a cold wallet. I'm going to tell you right now, this is where a lot of people make mistakes. So being able to track your money, they're going to be able to track it at the source. Now you might think, well, Cody, couldn't they always do this? No, they couldn't. There was a massive amount of laws in place, a massive amount of deductions, a massive amount of things you could do. Financial privacy will literally 100% end in America if this happens. 100%. There will be zero financial privacy. You will have the federal government down your throat 24/7, 365. It is insane that the people who make all the money in this country and in this world literally pay for this crap. I don't understand when people are going to get it together. Who actually wants there to be more IRS agents? Just about zero people. You know who wants there to be more IRS agents? Freeloaders. People on welfare, people who don't work, people who want to try to find extra money that isn't there to pay them more money so they can do nothing, I guess. That's who. That's probably the only class of people who want more IRS agents. But yet, we, the people who actually work and make all the money, people like me and people like you, we don't want more IRS agents, not because we're doing anything wrong. I pay all of my taxes. I usually overpay. I pay massive amounts in taxes, way more than most people, substantially more than most people in what I pay in taxes. And then you want me to hire more IRS agents? Nah, it's ridiculous. And so the thing is, the financial banking system and the crypto, because we talked about in a recent video where Coinbase is, I used the word colluding. Some people got mad and tried to push back. No, I'm going to stick with the word colluding with the US government. Now, it's to try to save themselves because they've painted themselves into a corner. But they wouldn't have these problems if they didn't create these problems by creating lending products that they have no business creating. If they wouldn't have created these stupid Bitcoin lending products, we wouldn't have this problem. But we do, because they got greedy for no reason. They already know that if you lend money and you put yourself in the category of a security, you're going to get the attention of the SEC, and they would have been fine, at least for a while, whether it be 1 year or 10 years, but they would have been fine if it wasn't for their greed. And so now they're trying to create the oversight that's going to cripple a lot of people's ability to buy and sell crypto, especially the small seller. The big sellers are going to be okay because you can compound the fees, and of course you can stopgap the losses. But what about the small seller? What about the people investing $1,000 or $2,000-3,000? They're going to get wrecked, as they always do. As they always do. It's kind of like when they say tax the rich. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. It's a percentage. It's based on a variable percentage. And whenever they do that, all that happens is they pivot the way they spend. Spending goes down, hiring goes down, employment goes down. They take away from medical benefits and perks for the employees. No new employees, no new training. They're not going to lose based on taxes. It's middle class that always loses because they don't have the ability. It's people making 60, 70 grand a year who are just north of broke already. If you're making 70 grand a year in America right now, you're basically paycheck to paycheck in most cities. In big cities, you're probably on the street. I mean, you think you can make 70 grand a year and live in San Francisco or New York or Chicago? I mean, even cities like Miami, even Vegas, even Austin. I mean, are you kidding? Are you kidding? There's no way. But this is what happens. So what do we do? How do we pivot out of this? Well, ideally, it would be nice if this bill gets shot down. But frankly, I think everyone knows that these are all going to get ramrodded through. I mean, when you've got congressmen and women, and this is a direct quote, this should be a treasonous crime. But of course it's not. If you want to know what's in the bill, read it after we pass it. Are you out of your damn mind? Every single bill that goes through Congress should be directly shredded by the public piece by piece. No bill should be allowed to be more than 10 or 20 pages. We've got bills in the tens of thousands of pages that no one's read. They'll put them on the floor and they'll say we got to vote on this tomorrow. They couldn't read this in a calendar year if they wanted to and actually understand anything. And that's done on purpose. So I think we all know this is all going to go through. So what's the next step? Because let's quit pretending like these bills aren't going to go through. They're all going to go through. People are still holding on to hope. There's no hope. It's going through. So what's next? And even if it doesn't go through this time, it'll go through the beginning of the year. People are like, well, if they don't hit the deadline, it doesn't matter. Then they'll do it in January. It doesn't matter. It might actually be worse if they don't pass them now because they might add more in January. Probably will. So what's next? Well, the reality is this will destroy banking. Now, yesterday I did a video on how to do anonymous debit cards. Cash, while we still have cash, coins like Monero are valuable, although the FBI has done a full-scale attack on Monero. So I'm really curious to see, and we've been doing some investigating here at PrivacyX into Monero because there's a full-scale FBI attack, and it is hush-hush. I've only seen a handful of places report on this. But they're actively trying to make Monero illegal because they say there's no reason to have any privacy in the financial sector. What? But that's the FBI's new stance. So there's no reason to have privacy in the financial sector. And then crypto. We're getting to a place where the only thing you can do is move your money offshore. I mean, America is destroying any innovation we were going to have. And there's going to be zero companies that run their main operations. They might have their headquarters in America, so they're an American company, but there's going to be almost no companies that actually do anything in America because the way things are going. It just won't be possible. It doesn't matter if you want to or don't. It will literally almost not be possible. The way and it's not even about trying to pay less in taxes. It's the overall structure. So who can win? Well, small business could actually win if they're nimble, right? The great thing about e-commerce is e-commerce sellers will definitely win. Brick and mortar is going to die. Everything they're doing is going to kill brick and mortar. It's too expensive. So everything's going to have to be done online. Services will all have to be done online. Everything from, and we already have these things, but there's going to be almost no brick and mortar. Like if you want to buy a car, you have to do it all online and it's going to be delivered to you from a warehouse. You're not, I mean, the amount that insurance and property and all these things are going up, there's going to be almost no brick and mortar. It's not going to be possible. I mean, we're already looking at like an average of 70% increase in fuel. There's the potential with that new law that they just passed of a 200 increase in power bills. You look at what's happened in every industry. Groceries have went up like 70% in a lot of places, 50% pretty much everywhere. I mean, I saw a video the other day where somebody went to get gas and it was almost $7 a gallon. It was $2.50 not that long ago. I don't know. And so the issue with money and what do? The only place you can put it is a business. And we're getting to a point where land trusts and offshore holding companies is pretty much going to be the only option. It's pretty much going to be the only option. Having cash in America is virtually going to be impossible. And it's not even about a privacy thing at this point. It's about a security thing. This is going to cause, and a lot of the experts, I'm not an identity theft expert as far as statistics, and we help a lot of our clients avert identity theft, obviously, and I've dealt with that over 10 years ago, 10, 12 years ago. I talk about that in my podcast. But the fact is, the future of this stuff, identity theft is going to 3-4x, right? Credit issues are going to 3-4x because of identity theft. And a lot of these times, it could take you 6 months to 2 years to get your credit fixed. And it's already a nightmare for so many people. And through this global issues we've had, identity theft has already doubled because people are just stealing credit cards left and right. They're doing all kinds of nefarious activities left and right. So now what? So, what do you think the future of crypto buying is? We're really running into a rock and a hard place. Coinbase has kind of turned their back on everyone. Crypto.com is trying to kind of duck for cover. They're trying to still be... And a lot of the crypto companies are doing what a lot of the big box stores did, 5-6 decades ago, when J.C. Penney was nicknamed J. Cash Penny. He hated credit. He would be rolling over in his grave if he knew that J.C. Penney made like 70% of their money off credit cards and interest, not merchandise. He was the king of merchandise in his day. Now his company, his legacy, is the king of credit, which turned into bad credit, which turned into a sinking ship. obviously because you overextended themselves, just like so many other stores did. Well, crypto is going to have some issues. Now, some people say, well, why do you need anonymous crypto? Well, the attack that crypto is under and the scrutiny that crypto is under and the ability to ever take profit is going to be almost impossible. It's going to be a nightmare. So what do you, I mean, I guess there's for me, I haven't touched, I'm letting everything ride as long as humanly possible. Because right now, taking profit is basically turning into impossible because that's going to put you in a tax bracket that is out of this world. And if you are going to take profit, my advice, do it soon. I mean, I wouldn't say now because the market's down. Do it soon because as soon as these taxes go into effect next year, which it looks like January 1st, this could happen. Oh, it will happen. I think we already know that. Something's going to happen. I mean, everyone in the government's talking about massive tax increases. And we're looking at a huge shift in taxes. So if you're going to take profit, I would do it in this calendar year instead of next. Because one thing that they're always willy-nilly with is cap gains tax. They feel like if you're lucky enough that we allowed you to earn income, capital gains, you should want to pay 60, 70% in taxes because we allowed you to earn some profit. I mean, I've seen numbers thrown around on capital gains tax that is out of this world. I've even talked to a lot of traders, well, not a lot, like 5 or 6 traders who have talked about quitting trading because it's not going to be possible. I mean, it's going to be possible in theory, but you're going to have to make so much money just to stay afloat. So unless you're a top 2-3% trader, you're going out of business. I mean, this is going to put mountains of people out of business in the financial sector. So what's the future of commerce? I've been saying it's e-commerce for over a decade. Obviously, everyone knows the future of commerce is e-commerce, but it's not about the future of commerce. It's about the future of money. What's the future of money? The Fed coin. And that's the problem. That's the actual problem. I will stay bullish on crypto until crypto gets crushed, and then the only thing left will be gold and silver. Outside of that, the future of money is probably the mark of the beast, the way these things are going. It's ridiculous. So that's my take on it. What's your take on crypto? Let me know down below so we can talk about it. I'm also going to be, I get a ton of requests for Q&A questions. So if you got a Q&A question, let me know that as well. Because I'm putting together a big Q&A video because I haven't done a Q&A in a long time. So let me know down below. I've probably got hundreds of Q&A questions, but I'm going to pick the best ones, the ones that keep coming up. And then we'll do kind of a deep dive in some questions there. I'm probably do a weekly Q&A so I can answer some of these. And then also we're going to be doing some tutorials, as I talked about, which I've been filming and putting together. They just take a little bit more in depth. So appreciate you checking this out. If you haven't already, give this a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.